I'm Emily, I'm 30, and I have ADHD. I wanted to make this video today as a kind of response to the upsurge in ADHD related content that we're seeing online, of which I fully accept I am part of. Obviously, over the past couple of months and probably about a year, ADHD has really been popular on social media as a topic to kind of raise awareness and also kind of make people feel seen. And I myself sought a diagnosis because of that kind of content. And it's great because all of a sudden I felt like somebody understood me. But a lot of that content is quite fun in the sense that it's sort of people with ADHD laughing at themselves and making fun of the struggles that they have. And I am all for having a laugh. But I do feel that we need to give some balance to those videos. So I just wanted to spend a bit of time today talking about the less glamorous, fun, silly side of ADHD, because for a lot of people with ADHD, particularly those who are undiagnosed or untreated, it's actually quite an unhappy place. And I think we need to acknowledge that to give some balance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through 6 of the negative things that happened to me when I was undiagnosed with ADHD, and a lot of which I still struggle with now. As you will have seen at the start of this video, I am including a content warning just so that you can protect yourselves if you need to. I won't be offended if you skip this video because we are going to cover some pretty heavy stuff. I will be talking about depression, destructive behaviours, and also suicidal ideation. So if you need to switch off now, go for it. So the first negative behaviour that I really had as a result of undiagnosed ADHD was just a general instability. And I think that that links a lot to other aspects that became really negative and impactful on my life. It seems to be the underlying cause of a lot of stuff, which is why I got so excited when I thought, well, actually, I can remedy that instability. I simply cannot settle on anything, whether that's a job, a place to live, even just hobbies. And I find that I will self-sabotage. Even when I might be quite good at something, I seem to just lose interest or focus. And that means that I've never really achieved anything substantial because I've never been able to stick at something for long enough. Wait 1 minute, my hair straighteners are beeping at me because I forgot to turn them off. See, even with medication, I'm still incredibly forgetful. The next problem is relationship problems. Now, I've been quite lucky in my life. I've had some really wonderful romantic partners who have supported me. However, friendships-wise, I've found them really, really difficult to maintain, and that's no fault of the other person. That's literally because of this instability that I seem to have. I'm just terrible at texting back, maintaining a location where I live for long enough that a friendship group forms and is really solid. I also struggle to keep time and arrive places on time, or I'm just flaky and I'll make a plan and then I'll cancel on it for whatever reason. Maybe it's my anxiety and depression, or maybe I've just forgotten and I don't have enough time in my day to fulfill that promise to a friend. I feel terrible about that, and that leads to a lot of guilt and shame. And I just want people to know that if you are my friend, I do value you, and the fact that maybe I forget to text you back is no reflection on you as a person. You're great. Another issue that I struggle with is rejection dysphoria. So I'm going to take this opportunity to apologise to anyone who has ever had to discipline me, whether that's my parents, managers, teachers. And that's not to say that I don't agree with criticism, almost the opposite. If somebody gives me criticism, constructive or otherwise, I just take it really personally. I get really, really emotional when I feel like I'm being attacked with criticism, and that's not a good thing. And I know that, and I can see when it's happening often, but it's really hard for me to control those emotions and negative thoughts that come from being criticised. Sometimes I find that rather than being able to learn from a situation, I get so het up in the emotion of being rejected or feeling like I'm being criticised, and then I don't learn from that. I'm really working on trying to get better at that. Another negative effect of ADHD that I've experienced is general destructive behaviours. So things like, I'm really terrible with money. I cannot have money in my bank account and not spend it. And that's mainly because I struggle with short-term versus long-term gratification. If there's an opportunity for me to seek some dopamine and get that short-term gratification, I will go for it. And I won't necessarily think about the long-term consequences. And again, that's not a great place to be in. It's going to lead you down a path similar to the instability that's going to make you feel like you're not achieving things, say saving for a mortgage. Now we get to the pretty heavy part, and that's to do with depression and suicidal ideation, which are obviously linked together. The negative effect of ADHD and the outcomes of instability and an inability to maintain relationships and financial security all have an outcome of depression. I felt like for so long I haven't been able to achieve the things that I actually think I would be pretty good at, because I just seem to self-sabotage all the time. And that leads to guilt and shame that I don't seem to be functioning the way that other people seem to be functioning. Suicidal ideation was a result of my depression. I was a high school teacher for 4 years and I loved it. I loved getting up and talking about my absolute favourite subject to young people. And although I was great in the classroom in front of the kids, when it came to behind the scenes, doing marking and paperwork, including all the pressure and emotional labour that you have to do, I just couldn't cope. And my ADHD was undiagnosed at that point, so I was struggling so much to keep up. This eventually led to me driving to work and thinking about pulling into the other lane just so that I didn't have to face the executive functioning and stress that was lined up for me that day. And that was when I realised that that really wasn't a healthy way to live my life. And if I didn't leave teaching, at least in the short term, things weren't going to turn out well. So I'm really proud of myself for recognising that. Even though leaving a career in teaching was hard because I loved it, I also know I'm a lot happier and healthier now. I really hope this video shows that even though TikTok and Instagram Reels make ADHD seem kind of fun sometimes and a little bit silly, that you don't have to be alone in the negative stuff. ADHD is difficult, especially in the modern world where you're expected to function at a level that perhaps you find really, really challenging. So I just hope this video makes you feel less alone and know that things can get better. I'll be sharing a video in a couple of weeks' time where I talk about some of the things that have actually helped me to combat those negative aspects of ADHD. But I'm not the finished article and nobody's perfect, and I'm also not a medical professional. So take everything I say with a pinch of salt, but I do hope it helps somebody out there. I'm gonna go now, but hopefully I see you back on my channel soon. And if you haven't already, please check out my vlog where I am documenting my journey on Concerta XL, which is an ADHD medication. Bye!